All right, guys, it's time to do a review on the Maverick. How's it going? I'm not sure how many of you guys out there got to try out the new Maverick reed this year for 2018, the fall of 2018. Collaborated with Jason Phelps of Phelps Game Calls to build the Maverick. We did some really cool stuff to make this a durable, realistic sounding diaphragm reed and make it my favorite. So let's talk about a few of the cool features and how this reed came to be. So Jason Phelps and I have been really good friends for a long time, and he had been asking me to do a collaboration of some kind and work on some reeds, and so I said, you know what the heck, if he has enough faith in me to do a collaboration, then I'm gonna have some faith in him. And I'd sampled his reeds, and I could tell right away they were very high quality. It doesn't wear out prematurely, and you get good call consistency. So I'm like, you know what, let's do it. So what he did was he sent me probably 15 or 20 different diaphragm reeds with various thickness of latex and different stretches. We kind of had an idea what I liked, but we kind of wanted to have something bit different on either end of the spectrum. So I started going through them, and I'd throw one in my mouth and blow it, throw one in my mouth and blow it, and I went through all of them and immediately picked out the ones I really liked, and then I kind of narrowed it down from there. And what we found is there was one particular color latex that I liked a lot, and it was the green one that we decided on right here. So then we worked on different stretches of that thick latex. I wanted to make sure it was articulate. I wanted to make sure it was going to hold up. The thicker latex is built to last. So we put them through several different torture tests. In fact, I soaked this thing in a cup of water for like 3 days just to see how it would react. And it reacted well. I think water has a little different, quite a bit different makeup than like saliva does. Saliva breaks down latex a lot faster than, let's say, water will. But after 3 days in the water, I pulled it out. The latex seemed a little sluggish at first, but after I blew it a few times, it kind of shed the water like a dog shaking all the water out of their fur, and it started to become more articulate. So I thought, well, okay, it stood up to that test. So then I put it on my stove, my propane heating stove from my home, and I did a little a thermometer test, and it was about 110 degrees on the top of that stove surface. So I put that thing on there for 7 days. I thought, well, we'll see how this thing holds up in heat. So after 7 days, popped it in my mouth, and it sounded great. It actually sounded almost like it did before we did the water test. So I thought, well, you know what, this is a call we can get behind. So from there on, we kind of tweaked the stretch on it. I knew what I wanted for me, but I wanted it to be good for folks as well. And I didn't want it to be perfect out of the package, like to make the perfect bugle and the perfect cow call, because what happens is, as you break in a diaphragm reed, if it's perfect right from the very get-go, then the only place you have to go is downhill from there. So you have a very limited time of perfect calls with your diaphragm. So we stretched it a little bit tighter. That way there's a little break-in period there. So once it kind of breaks in, you find a very, very sweet cow call, and it still screams really well too. So that was the goal there. So we didn't know if anybody was going to like it besides me. I knew it was a home run for me, but when we released it to the public, it was crazy. I thought it would be, more experienced, more aggressive type callers would like it, kind of like my style. But what we found, new callers and old callers both really liked it. We had people who never even used a diaphragm reed before call with it, and they're like, wow, this is easy to blow. My son's friend Caleb, he'd never even used a diaphragm before. He pops it in, and he was making elk noises in no time. So that was really, really cool to see. So, but the real test was September. And I really was anxious to see how it would hold up to all the torture in September, because I get a little crazy bugling bulls, and I push hard, and I use a lot of air pressure, and I wanted to see how these things would stand up to my kind of abuse. So September came and went and all the dust cleared. I had only used 3 of these Mavericks for the whole month of September. I will admit this September wasn't quite as aggressive calling as years I've had in the past, but we did have quite a bit of calling still. And I think I might have in a normal year might have went through 4. So that's a lot of calling. I think I hunted for 22 days in September. So anyway, that was proof in the pudding that they worked. So one crazy thing was the latex would get a little stretched on some of these. On 2 of them, the latex stretched a little bit. And what was crazy is it still screamed pretty good. So it wasn't completely shot or a dead duck. And even after all that abuse and calling, here it is. This is March, and let's see what it sounds like. So it's not quite as articulate as a brand new one out of the case or one that's in that perfect broken in spot, but it still sounds pretty good. So if you're looking for an elk call that's going to stand up to anything you can throw at it, go ahead and give that Maverick a try. Thanks a lot for watching.